Jungkook appears strikingly different after emotional airport farewell with Jimin in America. What really happened behind the scenes? In a moment that left millions breathless, Jungkook walked out of Los Angeles International Airport looking like a man transformed, pale, withdrawn, and unrecognizably distant. Less than an hour earlier, cameras had captured Jimin, his closest bandmate and emotional anchor, departing alone, eyes red and visibly shaken. What could cause such an abrupt and silent fracture between two of BTS's most bonded members? Was this just a simple scheduling conflict, or the sign of a deeper unraveling behind the global phenomenon known as BTS? The silence following their separation has been deafening. This was not a casual goodbye. The sequence of events, Jimin leaving solo, Jungkook emerging later with an altered demeanor, and the absence of any communication between them, shook the ARMY fandom and music industry alike. The emotional dissonance on both their faces raised questions far beyond a missed flight or a change in itinerary. And now, fans and analysts are left with a chilling uncertainty. Are we witnessing the quiet beginning of a fracture within BTS? The timing could not have been more unsettling. Both idols had recently wrapped up an intense series of solo projects and international engagements, projects that have often placed emotional and physical strain on them. But none of that prepared anyone for the way Jimin was spotted alone, solemn, and evidently holding back tears at LAX departure terminal. Known for his warmth and constant companionship with Jungkook, Jimin's solo exit wasn't just out of character, it was a red flag. Photographers on site described the air as tense, as though something critical had just happened. And when Jungkook finally exited through a different terminal, what they captured was not just fatigue, it was devastation. His expression was unreadable, eyes blank, movements hurried and uncharacteristically defensive. Even his loyal fan interactions were replaced with silence. There was no wave, no smile, not even acknowledgement. Just a heavy, unshakable stillness that followed him into the awaiting vehicle, and then came the digital shock. Within hours, observant fans noticed that Jungkook had unfollowed several management staff on Instagram. While seemingly trivial, in the hyper-curated and image-sensitive world of K-pop, such moves are rarely accidental. They are symbolic, strategic, loaded with unspoken meaning. Especially considering that both Jungkook and Jimin have typically been careful and deliberate in their online actions. So what truly happened between them in the hours leading up to this moment? Sources from within the South Korean music industry, who requested anonymity due to the sensitivity of the matter, suggest that rising internal tension within BTS has been brewing quietly, particularly with HYB's increasing shift toward soloization. That strategy, meant to diversify and elevate each member's brand, is now being scrutinized as a potential wedge driving emotional distances between members who once moved as one. Some believe that Jimin's early return to Korea was not just about a scheduling conflict. Rumors are circulating that a last-minute alteration in a solo project, perhaps even one tied to promotional responsibilities or creative decisions, triggered a disagreement that spilled over into personal territory. Allegedly, Jimin felt disregarded in an internal meeting, leading to visible distress, even tears, according to a staff witness. And where was Jungkook in all of this? Caught in the middle, many believe. Known as the group's youngest, but also one of its most emotionally perceptive, Jungkook has historically been a unifier. But now, signs point to a man burdened, emotionally and professionally, by forces larger than himself. In a previous live broadcast, Jungkook uttered a line that now echoes louder than ever. Sometimes, when you can't say what you feel, you just smile and carry on. That smile? It was nowhere to be seen at LAX. And neither was Jimin, the one member who often drew the brightest reactions from him. Online speculation has intensified following a 3-minute leaked audio recording, believed to have originated from an internal HYB meeting. In it, a voice, allegedly a project manager, can be heard admitting friction among members over the company's changing direction. Although the clip has yet to be authenticated, its circulation has only deepened suspicion that something serious is unfolding behind closed doors. Point one alarming theory gaining traction is that BTS, long praised for its unity, is being pulled apart by conflicting artistic visions and managerial pressure. Jimin, whose work has leaned increasingly introspective and emotive, may be struggling with a system now geared toward aggressive commercial expansion. Jungkook, with his rapid ascent as a global soloist, faces a separate kind of isolation, success without stability. Sometimes, you love someone so deeply, but you also have to let them go so they can roar. Jimin said cryptically in a recent interview. The quote didn't mention Jungkook directly, but in light of the events at LAX, the reference feels pointed. Jungkook's contrasting remark, even in a crowd, "I sometimes feel alone," adds another layer of despair, suggesting both are navigating emotional turmoil in ways that no longer align. The fact that both have remained completely silent since the incident has only exacerbated the situation. Not a single statement, not even a vague post, has been shared by either party to address the swirling chaos. HYB's continued silence, too, has not gone unnoticed. In an industry where public image is meticulously managed, their refusal to comment is viewed by many as a silent admission that something is indeed amiss. Is this the beginning of the end for BTS as we know it? Industry analysts are now openly questioning whether the brand's internal cohesion can survive the strain. With members at different stages in their careers and personal tensions beginning to eclipse public appearances, the group's iconic unity appears increasingly fragile. The longer the silence continues, the louder the concern grows. In the words of a South Korean media expert, in BTS, silence often speaks louder than clarification. Further complicating matters is HYB's recent expansion into multiple new ventures, including international collaborations, business partnerships, and a sharp pivot toward individual branding. While successful in monetary terms, some argue that the strategy may be unsustainable when applied to a group forged on emotional solidarity. The strain of carrying both group identity and solo trajectory appears to be taking its toll, with Jungkook and Jimin now the most visible casualties. Emotional exhaustion isn't unfamiliar territory in K-pop, but rarely is it this visible. This raw, fans have flooded social media with concern and empathy. Some express unwavering support for Jimin, pointing out his historical sensitivity and deep emotional nature. Others rally around Jungkook, who has increasingly shown signs of burnout, even before this incident. Whispers about counseling, isolation, and artistic frustration have all surfaced, with little to no denial from the agency. All eyes are now on HYB. The company's next move, or lack thereof, could shape not just BTS's future, but the entire ecosystem of K-pop fandom. Should this situation escalate further, it risks becoming a full-blown reputational crisis. In Jungkook's last known post, he wrote a single word: process. Whether this is referring to healing, transformation, or a signal of something more irreversible, no one knows. But the ambiguity of that message has left fans parsing every detail for hidden meanings. This is no longer just about music. It's about the psychological cost of global fame, the fragility of personal bonds under pressure, and the uncertain trajectory of a group that once promised to stay together forever.